Good morning. Welcome to Theo's Theories. I am Theo, and I'm coming to present theories or stories on different levels of lifestyles, different levels of people's brain thoughts, to open up something like another view of how people look at stuff today that they think is kind of like respectful or cordial to life or to society itself. But I'm going to touch on a lot of bases. This first episode is basically based off of who we really know as far as in the first creations, which is in the books of Genesis, which is I have the first question based off of this theory. This theory is based off of religion. The first question is, what God do you actually serve? And the second question is, what entity is Satan, female or male? Now, in the books of Genesis, and please subscribe, hit the like button if you agree. If you don't, it's all well and good. Still leave your comments. But there in the Genesis, where I start off with the creations of man and woman, dealing with the commands of God and the taught lessons of God, which is the yin and the yang, which we know as people, we do have a good side and we do have a good life side, or, well, excuse me language, a dark side. Sorry. But anyway, the point of the questions is, what God do you serve? Okay. God created Adam, which would be equivalent to creating life, will be the command of a life, will be the command of a creation. So the thing is, if God created man to do his will, that is to obey his will. It's not to read about his will, it's not to question his will, it's to actually obey his will. So therefore we have that concept of God as far as giving out commands. Now you have this concept of another God, which has enlightened the mind through manipulation. And to confirm this theory, God told Adam to guide Eve, which we don't know about Lilith, because they don't talk about the first woman that was created, which is Lilith. But Lilith still liveth in the garden. She was just waiting on God to create another female species, one weaker than her mind frame, one that's totally emotional. Lilith was not emotional. She was an emotionless female, but she felt like she should be equal to the man, which would answer your second question. Is Satan male or female? Okay, back to this analogy of theory. Who was manipulated in this garden that God created? Told Adam, eat off the tree of life and anything else in the garden. But on this side, do not eat off the tree of knowledge. That tree is forbidden. Now, since women like to feud all the time with men about control, or you ain't gonna treat me like no slave, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do that. Well, Lilith is supposed to be Satan, which is Satan manipulated Eve When she wandered off away from Adam, was Adam supposedly fell asleep, and Eve kind of wandered off, which is Eve was created from the emotions of man. That's the reason why people didn't know that about Lilith, because Lilith was not created by the emotions of man. She was they're created equal to a man. But her mind frame of thinking, want to take over control, was totally different because of her body. She was using her body for control over Adam, which Adam had totally focused control. So when Eve was created, she was created from the emotions of Adam, not no damn real. She was created from the emotions of Adam, which is why women are so emotional. Women take everything personal. They don't know anything logical. Only time a woman knows anything logical, and she learns a logical mind frame from a logical male. And she actually pays attention to this logical male. That's the only way a woman will know logics. That means she is willing to compromise and listen to what this guy has to say is based off of logics, and she will explore research, which a lot of women don't do because women feel like they're females, they're cute, they got a vagina, they got breasts, they got a nice firm butt, a nice shape, whatever. It doesn't even matter about the shape or firmness anyway, because everybody is loved by anybody. So, but at the same token of a female, Lord, she has a vagina. Her vagina is more of her life than her mind is. That's if she's not a logical thinker. Because a logical thinker doesn't throw themselves out in society and claim to be good women, but at the same token, you're doing all the street attention methods on the same side of saying you're a good woman. You can't be a good woman to a man, any man. You can't be a good woman to any man if your mouth is saying it, but your body action is doing different. You know what I'm saying? It's like a past chick I was talking to. Say she was a good woman, this and that, and this and that, and this and that. I tried to be a good man to her. I was trying to get myself comfortable with her, which she never took her trying to get comfortable with me, which I knew she wasn't trying to get comfortable with me. So I started playing the mind game with her. To let her know that don't play mind games, because that's not what I asked for in the beginning. So the question is, again, which is the third one, is who manipulated who in the garden? So when men walk around and say we were manipulated, no, you wasn't. You was never manipulated. You never been manipulated. You only got manipulated because you let a woman manipulate you. And if you think that I'm telling a lie, let's just talk about other stories in the book that deals with the skills of manipulation from a woman. It's not a book in the Bible that is true about a woman. Nothing in the Bible is true about a woman. Like, no woman that sits for herself has no success in that book. So when you're going to talk about manipulation, men never were manipulated, because women are the one that gather the so-called knowledge, and they was able to manipulate men to follow that knowledge, which was the straight disobedience of obeying God's command. What God said, told Adam. Man today lives by the commands of God. Not all. Some are slithered and manipulated by women because they allow the women to glorify them because of who they are as a female, which is a succubi or a misleading character. So women are the vessels of Satan. If women will read the book all the way through instead of circling certain scriptures that a preacher give them in the church, they will understand a whole lot about their species themselves. Women are the destructions of life. And that's not all women, But that's more women that you can count. That's more than the ones that are not. Women are destructions of life, because if they can't get their way, they're going to do something very, very negative to a person. And so if a woman gets emotionally hurt, she hurts a man's emotions by tearing up something that she didn't partake in to even help financially build it. She would tear it down because she feels obligated that that's equal to her emotions. But her emotions can be misled by her own illusionated thinking, which is a bunch of bull. But like I said, this is just my theories of breaking it down. But the truth is, women are vessels of Satan. Whether they want to say they're not, they are. Because from the beginning of time, their species are the ones that put the negative ripple into God's commands. Well, man now is being punished for not being obedient to God's command. And God's command was just strictly eat out the tree of life and all the good stuff that's in the light that I give to you of free nature. I ask you to do one thing, follow one rule. That was a command. Eat everything in the garden here, you know what I'm saying? Eat out the tree of life. That's it. Don't do nothing else but everything else. But I'm going to give you this rule. Do not eat off the tree of knowledge. Now, when people want to explain the tree of knowledge, they try to make an excuse. Christian people are making excuses for a lot of stuff in the Bible. But they're so Christian, so believable, so have faith and all this stuff like that. But they deny them that everything in the book that's written. I hate when they say that was Old Testament. And I tell people, like, if that's Old Testament, then you being able to talk, you being able to walk, and you being able to eat is Old Testament. So it should change. Well, now you should be breathing out your eyeballs. You should be eating out of your ears. Do that make sense, or that just make dumb as hell? Because if you're trying to evaluate the past to the future by a God-based religion, you're stupid as hell to think that you can change that. You can't revert that. You can make it worse. What happened back in the day was more settled, more controlled, and you had more lives. Black people had more lives to live for. Today, you get away from the methods of, well, that was a big moment of them rules in their house and stuff. I don't want my house to be like that. So now your house ain't like that. So now you're complaining in the future, in this presence, about being treated. Black people lives matter. No, it doesn't. Black people don't even care about each other. So back to the religious base is that if you read the Bible and you read about every highlighted woman that's in the Bible that actually is a star of the story, not a co-star, the star of the story. Samson was a co-star of Delilah's story. Gomorrah was the star of her husband's story. She turned to a pillar of assault, dumbass. Why? Because you're hard-headed. You didn't want to listen. Said don't do it, you did it anyway. That's what women do. You tell them not to do some things, they do it anyway. And the consequence of it is, when it happened to them, they get mad at the man for what happened to them for being stupid, or for not obeying or paying attention what was being told to them not to do. So women always blaming the men for their bad decision making. They don't want to be accountable for their bad decision making. So, like I said, you read all these stories in the book, whatever the case may be, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially when it comes to religion, because it's too much. But I will continue this session because I don't want to make it too long, or whatever the case may be, because this is the first drive. But I would do a part 2, or whatever the case may be, talk about the women of the Bible, and to get a lot of women to understand, if they're following or subscribing to this channel, how to convert their minds into not making themselves a victim of everything. So next time I will continue this theory on religion and the battle between the species, of understanding that one species is the fault for everything that goes on in present time, and the other species is the results of trying to settle that issue as far as in the other entity. So again, subscribe, like if you like, leave a comment. I will advise the comment. It doesn't matter. Everybody has an opinion, like everybody has a buttonhole, and stuff. Everybody has an opportunity in my world to ask a question to get understanding. If you think I'm crazy, well, I think the crazy people might be the smartest people, or whatever the case may be. And we won't get into that, but we will have that as a topic if that comes across. I was write that down as a topic, and I will explain the craziness of the word that people call other people when they're just as smart and they're outside the box that they're not considering to go outside of. So until next time, thank you very much. If you tuned in, like I said, like and subscribe. I don't have a leading channel yet. I don't have, everything is brand new. I don't have my music together yet. Once that's coming, I'm gonna have my screens together. Everything is at a start, so the beginning is always rough, but it will get better as I progress and proceed in these theories. So thank you very much.